now. Because if you do go harass me in my email, I will not be nice to you in return. And I will probably make you cry. Not gonna lie. Or I'll try to. Anyway. Doing the news. News and politics, doing the news. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm a grifter.
War in this country. It is the body that is most representative.
Graham is not a grifter.
And it needs to be approved by Congress right off the bat. No grace period. The Constitution is clear about who is supposed to have the power of waging war in this country. It is the body that is most representative of the American people, because it is the American people who have to bear the brunt of combat. It is the American people who are asked to make the sacrifices. It is American families who have to bury their dead sons and daughters. It is American friends who have to watch their best friends come home from a war and struggle for years with physical and mental trauma. That is who bears the brunt of all of this. It is never those in power. It is never those with wealth. It is always asked of us. And that is why we need to only wage war when the American people know it is actually in their best interest. And if it isn't, we do not do it. This war needs to end, and it needs to end now. The only way that we can make sure that that happens is we have to prepare ourselves to organize and to mobilize. I do fear that the Trump administration is far more worried about saving its own skin than whatever pressure it's going to get from someone else in Congress. We need to be working now. Connect while you are here. Connect with organizations. Connect with About Face. There's another organization here handing out flyers about a webinar tomorrow night about they're going up in the back. Grab those. Connect with organizations that are doing the work, because we're going to have to prepare ourselves to get in the streets. Now, I don't know if you remember 2003, myself and a lot of people probably in this room spent some time protesting the war in Iraq. We need to make sure we are prepared to do it again. Because in this current political moment, it is only...
I don't know if he was an Iraq war protester. I hope he's not lying about that. It'd be a weird thing to lie about. I mean, considering everybody knows your background. Anyway, I don't really want to look into it. I mean, there's not going to be any real internet history for that anyway on him. What's his... He's like 40, I want to say. So he would have been like my age-ish, a little younger when the Iraq war started. Oh wait, no, he would have been even younger. He would have been like, I don't know, high school or college probably, yeah, when that was happening.
Only the power of organized people.
Or college age. I don't know if he went to a 4-year college, but people I trust him, so.
That is really going to be able to bring the pressure on these institutions, and we need to be preparing now to do it. Before I finish, watching people who do not know the realities of war, watching people who know nothing of the horror that comes with this kind of violence, people who could not even imagine what it feels like in the pit of your...
Send Baron.
your stomach when you hear that one of your friends has been killed.
Yep.
Or watching one of your best friends be ripped apart by high explosive. Watching people who have no idea what any of this looks like or feels like celebrate this disgusts me. And then watching them turn around and tell us that these sacrifices are just what happens. We just need to be prepared for more casualties because that's what happens.
He's so good at this, dude. Fuck yes. Okay. He can turn things around for sure. He's the fucking Tallarico's the preacher. He's the fucking, you know, uh, I don't want to give him a nickname or like, shit, whatever. Ex-Marine or ex-Jarhead. I'm the I'm the king of the grifters. Um, yeah, I'm not doing shit, but I don't know. Maybe I am. Um, who else? AOC, maybe. I don't know. Did did she actually? I don't. What was with that fucking? What was with that vote to block the sexual misconduct report in Congress? Like, I saw maybe I don't. Never mind. I don't want to talk on it. I didn't look into it, but fishy stuff. It seems either that bill had tons of pork in it that was just like that killed it, or you know, yikes.
Not what fucking happens to them. It's what happens to us. And to watch these people do this, it disgusts me on a level that I cannot truly articulate. And I just want to take a moment to pray and be inside.
My friend told me some people were celebrating up there. Ooh. I told them to call them morons. Because they are. Ugh. I am Persian, or I don't know, whatever the fuck the meme is for these guys, but, you know. Ugh, the actors change, but the play's the same. You know what I mean? Zach De La Rocha. Anyway, I don't know who first said that, but Auto Logic.
The families of the 3 service members we know have died, and hold in your minds all of the Iranian civilians who have been killed thus far. Because it was set up here earlier, working people in this country, working people in Iran, working people around the world have everything in common with each other. All of our needs are exactly the same, and we are used as pawns in the games of the powerful and the wealthy. So let's just have a moment of silence. Thank you. No war in Iran. I don't think. He's got bone spurs.
Send Baron.
I don't.
Oh, hell yeah.
And before we finish, I simply have to call out the best sign I've seen today, which is the Epstein files are not in Iran. So, thank you very much for that.
The Ayatollah is not in the Epstein file. Was not in the Epstein files. I don't know. Was he? I don't think so, right? Maybe as like a mention. Like in their fucking like scheming emails. Ugh, got so many good memes in my head. It's making me distracted thinking about them. That one with the Ayatollah as a little guy being like, "A woman is a flower," and the big guy behind him is like, "Build the nuke, R word." Ugh. Anyway. Okay, that was awesome. Let's see what Brian Grifter Cohen's saying.
Subscribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life.
I'm joined now by Democratic strategist and senior advisor to Target Smart, Tom Bonnier. Tom, thanks for joining me.
Great to be here.
What the fuck is Target Smart? As if I'm supposed to know what that is. Okay, so it's like a professional loser firm or something, like a media campaign firm. I guess they do Democratic. They work with labor unions. Let's see. That's actually real. They have any history that they can point to? No, it's just a bunch of fucking stuff on the website. They don't they don't say who their clients are. Seems pretty trustworthy to me. Wait, let's see. Takes me back to the fucking homepage. Okay. What do these guys say about unions? They do focus groups, panels, surveys. Okay, great. Okay, so these guys have no ideological mission, seemingly. Great. Yeah, these guys know who I voted for, I guess, or something. Maybe. Or know how they know the fucking voting patterns. So it's whatever. Okay, so it's just a fucking liberal firm, I guess, or whatever.
So you had a really interesting, I think the most interesting takeaway from the Texas primary. Can you explain what that takeaway was?
Yeah, well, your folks will remember. Yeah, you had a great.
Well, my takeaway was that Brian Grifter Cohen feeds his audience a lot of crap because most of them wanted Crockett to win somehow. And you know, it seemed to me like he was trying to cope last night, like hold off on calling the race for Tallarico in the hopes that like fishy Supreme Court situation might work in Crockett's favor. I don't know. That's what it felt like to me. Anyway, or that Texas Supreme Court situation. I mean, to clarify.
Conversation with Mark Elias about this the other day about the Texas gerrymander. It was the domino that set off all the other redistricting around the country. But Republicans went to say, we're going to grab a bunch of congressional seats by redrawing the maps mid-decade. And so they created these districts that they believed to be out of reach for Democrats, where they were just going to knock off some Democratic incumbents, put some districts out of reach, and basically steal a handful of seats. And what they were relying on was the fact that Donald Trump in 2024 did pretty well with Hispanic voters. So they created a couple of districts that were like Trump plus 10, another one that was like Trump plus 15. And, you know, when they did it, looked like maybe a smart move. I do have to say, I think at the time I did say this might be a dummy mander. You have to be careful. I'm not saying I'm a genius, you know, like the swings, again, you've been talking about this for a long time. These types of swings we've been seeing elsewhere in special elections would potentially put these seats in reach. Anyhow, when you look at the primary results in Texas.
Yeah, bro, I'm sure they gerrymandered in a way that was useless to them because they're so stupid. Whatever.
How many votes were cast by Democrats?
I mean, they're stupid, but they're not that stupid. Come on, get real.
Votes were cast by Republicans? Because keep in mind, in Texas, you can pick either ballot. There's no partisan registration. So they're going to go where the excitement is. And what happened is, in all 4 of these districts that are new districts they created to be their safe seats, in all 4 of them, more Democrats voted than Republicans, which was, I have to admit, even a shocker to me. I thought, look, these might be within reach in November. Maybe we could pick 1 or 2 of them off. This isn't, definitively saying now Democrats are going to win them, but it's about as good of a sign as you could possibly.
He looks so stressed, dude. I mean, I'm stressed, but he's like,
possibly ask for going into, coming out of this primary.
And you put some of that information on Twitter. I'm going to throw that on the screen.
I see too many portfolios in today's market sitting dormant. Not because the market isn't moving, but because the investors behind them aren't. I like to call it idle portfolio syndrome. These investors aren't losing money.
In these 4 districts, Congressional District 9, 28,
South Texas, you had more people voting Democratic in this primary than voted for Vice President Harris in the general election in 2020.
yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's because Tallarico and even Crockett at least tried to present themselves as actual fighters. Anyway, I guess they're just gonna go over to fucking horse race details. That's boring. Wait, KRISTI Noem delivered remarks today? I gotta watch this.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Good. And Tony's doing a good job, isn't he? He's doing a fantastic job. Well, thank you for giving me the honor and the blessing of getting to come and spend some. From the bottom of my heart and my family's heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do to keep people safe and to uphold your oath to be out in our communities,
Go back to
protecting
Canada.
people from public safety threats, but also being an example.
I don't know. She's not from there, but she sounds like it, sort of.
To our next generation of Americans. Our kids and our grandkids are desperate for examples to look up to. And the way that you lead, the way that you enforce the law, and the way that you do it with compassion, but also firmness, sets an example for how we want all Americans to live their lives. So just thank you for that, and know that we pray for you, that God will have his hand on you and your families and continue to bless you as you do your work. Listen, I'd like to thank everybody who's hosted me today. I know we've got a host of leaders that are here. We just met with Vince backstage a little bit and talked with him a little bit. Tony obviously has been very helpful. Michael, who is from the New York State, Chief of Department, Mark Ross, Craig Miller. We've got Craig Lally as well. And then the
How many people watched this? 3 comments. Wait. Ugh, these comments are great. 10:45. This 6 point. Let's skip ahead to that mark because that sounds interesting.
States. That means 1.7 billion people will still be with us because of the work that our agencies and our
Thank you for that. That was great. Time to dust off the old knee pads again. And then this guy came in with great job. Well, at least he's putting some positivity out in the world. Yeah. Let's go back.
People come to us and their teeth are so bad that they all need to be extracted. They all need to be taken out. And
Dude, it feels like it's speaking to me.
the horrific events on 9/11. And just 2 years later, as Congress put the department together, with the support of the president, 23 different agencies who had a nexus and a focus on defending the homeland were put in order to make sure that they were all following the same mission every single day. So it's a very diverse department. It not only has FLETC in it that trains over 130 different federal law enforcement agencies and officers from those agencies. It also includes CBP, ICE, CWMD, which is Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction. So some of you may have gone through some of those trainings to help us detect some of the
Yeah, bro. America's in real danger of a fucking weapon of mass destruction falling on our lap from our foreign adversaries. Anyway.
threats here in our.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only. No, man. Let's keep it
homeland and
normal.
also some of
Keep
the
it
trainings
chill.
that it takes as far as responding to fires and 911 calls in different specific situations. We have intelligence agencies. We also cover FEMA. FEMA is a disaster response agency, but it also is the agency that's entrusted to run the government on our very worst day. If we had a tragedy in this country where we needed someone to step up because our leadership was not able to, that agency would be entrusted to do that and to maintain our critical infrastructure. So they ensure that they go forward and maintain our electrical grid and our critical
This is what FEMA does. Dude. Whatever.
infrastructure such as water and systems that we rely on every day to help the American.
Yeah, the Department of Homeland Security should be dealing with that for sure. Because I trust them to deal with that. It's definitely not the government holding disaster relief as a fucking, carrot over the heads of everybody.
American people be safe and to still have their way of life. We also have CISA, which some of you may have worked with them, which is our cybersecurity agency, which goes out and not only hunts down bad actors that would attack us on our cyber systems, but also gives us mitigation measures for how we can harden our systems. All of these entities work together to serve the American people and to make sure that we're prepared for any threats that we may face, but also respond to them in a way that honors what our ideals are.
This FEMA stuff with DHS, literal carrot stick situation with how, and how the federal government wants to be dealing with local governments. It's not sustainable, I think.
Sacred duty of our government truly is that people are entrusted to secure the rights also of all the American people. The Declaration of Independent States, the governments derive their powers from the consent of the governed, which is the people. The people give us the right to do our jobs each and every day. And as long as this world is fractured and as long as human nature is fallen, we will need brave men and women who step up and serve and enforce our rights. And fractured, and as long as human nature is fallen, we will need brave.
Human nature is what? Now she's getting into philosophy. I didn't think she had that in her.
Of the governed, which is the people. The people give us the right to do our jobs each and every day. And as long as this world is fractured and as long as human nature is fallen, we will need.
Human nature has fallen? What the fuck does that mean, dude? Oh, great. Never mind. She's too dumb to even, pretend to be good at philosophy. Or to pretend to have a philosophy. God. Anyway, let's keep laughing at her.
Brave men and women who step up and serve and enforce our rights and our laws and our values. And that's what all of you do in this room with your colleagues. The heroism was on full display this last week when we saw the attack in Austin, Texas, and we saw that the display this last week when we saw the attack in Austin, Texas.
And then she's talking about the totally real Iranian sleeper cell. Yeah, cool. Oh, God.
This last week when we saw the attack in Austin, Texas, and we saw that the first responders that helped protected people and more lives there were our law enforcement that responded immediately. Instead of running away, they ran to it. And though we lost 3 lives and saw many other people injured, they prevented so many other lives from being lost.
For anyone with a bit of a belly, this is pure relief. No more belt buckles digging into your stomach. Just hook one side onto the first belt loop, run the other side through the second loop, pull it tight, Velcro it.
I need that bad boy in my wardrobe, I think.
Very grateful that they are willing to do that and to serve in such a way. In fact, it reminded me of the quote that is often attributed to George Orwell that states, "People sleep peacefully in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalfs," which means you step up in order to protect people. And
Rough men like me. Wow. Roof, roof. You're not one of those guys. And I don't like Orwell, but let's not get into that.
you do it in a way that other people often are never going to be required to. When tragedies like what we saw in Austin take place, it's your leadership and it's your decision making that make all the difference. You use judgment, and we entrust people entrust you with their lives. You're on the front lines of leadership, and you have the responsibility of guiding and also shaping the next generation. So we thank you for that, and we thank you for what you do. I know that I've met many of you in the room. I've had the chance to visit with you. I appreciate your wisdom and your advice as we continue to develop trainings and insight into how leadership can work together to make good decisions and to break down the silos between agencies so that we can work together more different, in better ways than we have in the past. And
Ugh. What a grifter, dude.
you know, we're seeing challenges across the country from judges and courts that are working to stop some of our efforts, that are looking to take away some of the protections that you need in law to do your work. And then also we're seeing some challenges from sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. In fact, after I get done sharing a few more words, I want to hear your questions on ways that we can help you do your jobs. If you're in a situation where the laws may be a little different than it is in other states, or you may have unique challenges that perhaps we could work together on to find ways to help you bring criminals to justice and to protect your community from public safety threats. America is the greatest country in the world, and it's the
Totally. Yeah. She's right about that. The greatest at child murder, it seems. The greatest family annihilator.
greatest country in the world that has great cities and great communities. Regardless of where people live, we need to make sure that they have an opportunity to go to work every day safely and to send their kids to school safely every day. Sanctuary cities do
Rally around the family with a pocket full of shells. Anyway.
Because it makes it difficult at times for law enforcement to do their work. And we see that many times when a city cooperates with the federal government, cooperates with our federal officers, that it is safer. In fact, 7 of our top 10 safest countries in the nation are not sanctuary cities. They're cities where the local law enforcement partners with us. They partner with our federal agency.
That's not true. I mean, there's so much. Okay. Should I even be watching this? Because there's so much. Oh, man, my button's just loaded. But there's so much misinformation that it's like impossible to address in a coherent and timely manner. But she's also so dumb and bad at this that it's kind of fun to just laugh at her as she's on the way out,
With the FBI, DEA, ATF, CBP, ICE, and our operations. And we've also seen across the country where 5 of our 10 most crime-ridden cities do not cooperate with us, where those that are not cooperative with federal officers will see challenges on their streets. We've seen a lot of different situations from city to city. The one thing I would encourage you that no matter how frustrated you may be with some of that we can find a way to work together to do some good work for our people. In fact,
Yeah. She knows what she's talking about, guys. Trust her.
even in Memphis, where we saw different leadership, we had different parties in the governorship and in the mayor, we still were able to arrest and bring to justice over 2,600 criminals, and in a way that significantly dropped their crime rate and significantly helped those communities continue to take those public safety threats off the streets. We got over 150 different illegal sex offenders off of the street.
Yeah, all of which were I think, already in jail due to local law enforcement's efforts, not ICE or DHS. By the way, like all these criminals that they're deporting, or that DHS is picking up at this point, have already faced justice at the hands of local law enforcement. So, keep in mind, it's all bullshit.
Those arrests included a criminal illegal alien from Venezuela that was convicted of aggravated criminal assault and abuse of a child. I'm thankful that individual is no longer on the streets because of the cooperation of those local law enforcement. We have agreements across the country called 287G agreements. I'm sure you're familiar with them, but there is 3 different models that are available. One is a jail model that helps us with some detention. The other is a warrant service officer model that is extremely helpful for us to make sure that we can take jurisdiction or of an individual who's a criminal in the safety of an environment of a courthouse or a jail, and they can be turned over to ICE so that we have the ability to...
Yeah. Because ICE doesn't do any real investigations. Like, ICE is just a bunch of goons that get a name on a list and get told where to go pick them up. That's that's pretty much effectively all they are. They don't care about who you are. They don't care about your background. They're just following orders. Just following orders, guys. It's only the Nuremberg defense. Anyway, who's heard of just following orders, guys? It's like, whatever. How many times am I going to make that joke within the same minute?
Return them back home. And the other model would be in the task force model, which I hope many of you have the opportunity to cooperate with us in, where we can use our different authorities to go out and go after the worst of the worst.
All right, whatever. Let's do something more interesting.
Violent offenders and criminal offenders, and that we can bring them to justice and get them out of your city and your state. We've seen that program go from before President Trump was in office to only 100.
Let's see what AOC
Thank you. I'd
said.
like to concur with some of the statements that have been issued today. And I want to, of course, just put my heart out to all of the families of our victims and survivors that are here in the audience today. This bill, unfortunately, is a lot of some of the most cynical ways that Washington works, which is that we center, or at the top of this bill, we will talk about kids, and we'll say that things are under the guise of the safety of children. But then when you actually open the hood and look at what's under there, it's being used as a smokescreen for everything that big tech lobbyists want.
Yeah, this is the vote people are yelling at her about, right? I think. Because they don't fucking understand anything about how Congress works. So, yeah. I figured there's a ton of... Right? This is the bill they were yelling... Like, I saw some fucking... Like, she voted no on that, I might have posted about it, but I'm such a dumbass for posting about it. But it's funny. I just want to Did I post about it? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Oh, good. I might have just reposted it. Like, something's going on here. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. All right, maybe this isn't the same bill. I need to look into that. Let's do it together, guys. Okay. Can I get a list of the votes? There we go. This is it, right? Yeah, this is the bill. It's just a resolution. Okay. I mean, this is kind of a double-edged sword, but I think it's better to get it out there because, like, you know, the victims might not want it out there, but I think the truth is more important for people to see, you know, like if their Congress people are doing sexual misconduct, it should be known. So that's all that was in this bill. This is like the only, and you got, wait. Fuck, I don't even know enough about Congress to speak on this. But yeah. How did Tlaib? Okay, yeah, I knew it. There's something wrong with this. And Omar probably. Okay. Yeah. God. There's so much. There's so much misinformation going on. I'm falling for it too, even because I can't focus on what's. I just tune out nowadays a little bit too much for what I do. But I did see a lot of people post about this as if like all of Congress voted to stop sexual misconduct reports from coming out. So, uh, who voted no? Or nay? I mean, it's only Republicans voting nay. So, oh, never mind. The Democrat Escobar, Texas. I don't know what to think of this bill, honestly. I don't know enough, but yeah, don't jump to conclusions about people's votes on this, is what I'd say. Anyway.
And what big tech lobbyists want is a national surveillance program where they can harvest the private and personal data of every American with zero actual protections for.
And, you know, if Omar and Tlaib are voting yay on it, then AOC voting yay on it is fine by me. Because, you know. Omar and Talib are the radical flank of the party, and I trust them a lot. So, yeah.
People and their privacy and victims of some of the most heinous crimes that we've seen in America. And we don't have to just talk about this as though this is a theoretical issue. Just a couple of months ago, Discord, a platform where a lot of kids have been targeted.
Oh, yeah. It's such a cesspit. Like, I only hear about what happens on Discord. I don't even go. I try to avoid, like, looking at any of it. The epitome of, like, iPad kids falling into the void, dude. It's what Discord is.
And put in danger, mind you. Tried to roll out this idea of a data verification or an age verification technique. But they did it in this way that was also very emblematic of what we're against here today. They contracted out to a third-party private company to do facial scanning of not just kids, but also adults. And mind you, Discord has over 200 million users every month. They decided to launch a teen default setting where they will lock you.
Feels like she's been listening to Taylor Lorenz nowadays. A little bit. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I hope so.
Into a quote unquote, what they call a teen appropriate experience, which means you can't access certain content, which, mind you, if you are an adult that does not opt in, you then get cordoned off into the teen experience. Explain to me how that has anything to do with children's safety. And then, if the only way to get out of that censored version is by scanning your face, but what's more shocking is that Discord made the decision to move forward with this after they had been hacked.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're trying to make the perfect environment for predators. It's so gross. And Roblox does the same, I think, right? With how they deal with their fucking troglodytes. Ugh. Because, I don't know, somehow these guys bring them money. Bring them in money. Or something. I don't know, man. Was the internet a mistake? I mean, maybe. But I guess if you're here for the first time hearing this kind of stuff, then maybe it wasn't. You know?
Hacked, and at least 70,000 users had their data stolen. So I don't see, even on the other side of this, kids were not protected, but a lot of people's privacy was violated. And I want to once again express my heartfelt just condolences to all of the advocates here. And I do believe that we can both protect American safety and protect kids. This package, unfortunately, does not do that. And we want to get to a place where we, of course, protect victims and ensure the privacy of every American is honored as well. Thank you, and I yield back.
Okay, go AOC. Keep pushing it. Alright. What else? What else? What else? Plattner went on Slate. Only got 751 views. Oh. Dude. Yeah. Feel you, bro. Ugh, God. Do any comedy? Did I watch this? I think I did. Who's live? Should I go? Oh, Dean is live. Ugh. He only debates MAGA. Come debate me, bro. I'll talk circles around your ass. Let's get back to the serious people who are actually serious about what they do. Like me. I don't know. Bergam lands big deals in Venezuela. Oh, hell yeah. Bergamaniacs rise up.
Do you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Goldman Sachs says that Elon...
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum is in Venezuela right now, focusing on energy and critical mineral partnerships. Let's go to Edward Lawrence in Venezuela. He has an exclusive interview with the secretary. Edward.
Yeah, and he's had a very busy 2 days here in Venezuela. Some big deliverables.
Have I gotten any viewers
yesterday,
yet?
the rare earth mineral mining expansion of the law that was announced by the Venezuelan president. Also, today, they had a signing for Shell to increase their presence here
I guess I
on
should
natural
keep
gas.
chat.
So joining me now is the Secretary of Interior, Doug Burgum. Thank you. How big of a deal were these agreements for Venezuela and for the United States?
How do you get a goddamn YouTube channel off the ground, dude? Do I need to learn how to edit?
Venezuelan
Or do I just need to
relationship is
start
moving
playing
at
more
Trump
video
speed.
games?
When
I
President
don't
Trump
know.
called together all the energy leaders in early January, some of them were here today. Baker Hughes, Halliburton, KBR, American companies down here, in addition to folks like Shell, signing deals and moving this opportunity forward.
Some of these companies were kicked out. Were there security guarantees that American investments will be protected here? We heard some positive news from the Venezuelan president.
Well, certainly, and I think the world has seen a signal because before the month of January was over, Delcy Rodriguez, the acting president, her brother, Dr. Rodriguez, who's the head of their legislature, together they passed a complete redo of the hydrocarbon laws in this country that drives more consistency, more transparency, more stability, more security, more opportunity for market-based approach. And yesterday they said that they're introducing a similar law related to mining minerals, which includes critical minerals and rare earths. And so the optimism among the mining crowd yesterday was great. And they even said, hey, if you've got suggestions, give it to us, and we'll maybe consider putting those in the law.
What does that mean, expanding the law? American companies will be protected? What does it mean?
Well, I think, again, what capital flows to where it is most secure and where it gets the highest return. So they're putting elements into their law that would help protect that capital, help make sure that the contracts that are being awarded are consistent and fair, that there's a way to do arbitration afterwards if there's any conflicts. But again, creating those in an environment. The leadership of Venezuela talks about they understand they have to be competitive. They understand between their taxes,
Yeah, they understand they have a fucking gun pointed at their head. And there's not much they can do about it because they didn't build up their military might, or they didn't have the ability to. So yeah, that's where we're at in Venezuela.
Their regulations and their government takeovers, they were not competitive for capital to flow. They want to be competitive. They know they've got some.
Well, they think they can like build socialism through diplomacy with the U.S. I guess it hasn't really been working out so far. You know, we've been putting sanctions on them that stop life-saving medicine from getting into the country, starve the poor in the country, make it harder for them to afford food, housing, medicine, force them to leave the country. We allow our guys to go into the country and put a bunch of bullshit that blames, the economic deterioration on the Chavistas and Maduro. Yeah, anyway. And our sanctions also prevent Venezuela from being able to have a, very wealthy and lucrative natural resource extraction industry like Saudi Arabia has. So, I wonder why Venezuela is not succeeding right now. Maybe it has something to do with their ideological commitments and, something like that. Their convictions and their principles and their love for their people. Anyway, over the corrupting Western force. Never mind.
Best resources, largest oil and gas reserves in the world, but also tremendous mineral reserve in this country: gold, coal, bauxite for making aluminum. I mean, all the things that they have here that the world needs and the U.S. would benefit from. All of those things are available, but you have to have the right environment. But companies lining up yesterday and today, part of the U.S. delegation, U.S. companies coming here that want to invest. That's great for affordability back home, and it's fantastic for creating jobs both in Venezuela and back in America.
Can we believe that environment is here now?
Well, all relationships can be here right now.
Let's watch Dean debate somebody, because I'm getting tired and bored. Kyle Kalinske is China maxing? No way. Oh, I gotta tune into that later. That sounds fun. Oh, YouTube heard me. Who's at the top of the live right now? Binder, Humanist, the Leftist Mafia. He gets 4.6K. I can watch this without getting without getting struck down, right? Like, he didn't strike down. They didn't strike down when I made fun of him going on Stephen A.
Lesser clippers, they're not hard enough. The angle is too high.
I've never actually tuned into one of these things, so I've got to do my due diligence now.
Ilya Rowan. Hey guys. What's up, Eva? Do you support Trump? Oh, Eva, you left? Banned! Only up inside of that queue of your MAGA. Only up inside of that queue of your MAGA. You know it. You break our rules, you get banned!
Damn.
Over on Super Chat.
What fun it could be if I had a chat. If I had a chat. Someone to yell at me. Please, come do it. I'm friendly, I promise. Maybe. I guess y'all can find out. I've been going for an hour already. And I haven't got anybody in here. Maybe if I expand my camera so people can see my pretty face. And my Amber Alert. I've been getting so many these last couple days. ICE has really been doing their thing, I guess. Yeah. Anyway. My button doesn't work. Oh, I gotta refresh my buttons, so I can go push other people's buttons. Beep, boop, boop, beep.
Bruh.
Excellent. Oh, I need that one. I'm not signed in. The fuck? Okay. We are Charlie.
I got this. I got this.
It's fun time now, I think. Less serious news coverage. Oh my god.
500 cigarettes.
Hashtag grifter. Dude, give me money. He doesn't even call himself a grifter.
Yo! Thank you so much for the 50 things. Because we have to be able to determine if the way that he looks at things is good or bad. You'd argue that the way he looks at things is good. I'd argue
Come
that the way
on,
he looks at
bro.
things is
Give me
bad.
money.
So the next question is as follows. Why do you think the way he looks at things is good?
I'm shilling.
I think the way that he looks at things is good because the way that we've traditionally looked at things doesn't seem to get the results that we need.
What?
Because we're very capable as
I gotta
human
copy
beings
these
at
guys'
solving
flow for their
problems,
titles and stuff.
whether it's
Get myself in the algorithm somehow.
whether it's hunger or peace or stuff like that. But
we've solved those problems?
No, we're capable of solving those problems.
Okay.
And so Trump has a very weird way of approaching situations, but at the end of the day, it kind of works as long as you're not.
Can you give me an example of it working?
An example, okay, so.
Dude, just tell this guy to shut the fuck up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why are you... Ugh. It's like asking a guy who he knows less than nothing, like, a question he doesn't know the answer to. It's so pretentious. I kind of used to do the same thing back in the day, but I did it anonymously online. Anyway. Whatever. He's drunk.
Much as they can.
If you want to have a job in the next 5 years, these are the AI rules you need to know.
This class isn't about writing prompts.
You know your job better than anyone. When you shift your thinking about AI, you can make 10 times the impact you normally.
What do you mean? What do I mean? You can't say he's the best president of your life when he's given us the worst jobs report since 03, another war in the Middle East, and another 10 million low-income Americans off Medicare.
Bathrooms, he's done a lot.
He's one of the men in the women's bathrooms, you jackass. You boasted about barging into the dressing rooms of Miss Teen USA and Miss USA to look at their naked bodies. What do you got to say about that, Steve-O? Ain't that hypocritical?
More of your lies, dude.
Oh, more of my lies.
What if you get money from these people from lying? You're like the worst of a politician.
I get money.
I mean, yeah, the guy can kind of, yeah. Ugh. You know, like, there's a reason you get like, where does this production value come from? I mean, I guess he's doing this full time, or he's been doing this full time for a while, but you know what I mean? Like, did he learn how to edit and clip videos before he learned about politics? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Okay, so His YouTube channel is a year old. Or I guess he's been doing most of his shit on TikTok, and that's how he built his audience initially. I don't know. I never got on TikTok. That wasn't me. Ugh, I don't know. I hate doing that stuff. But I guess I gotta change somehow. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. That short form content's for jokes, not education. Kind of. You know? But some people do a good job with it. A lot of other people are just kind of shatheeds with it. Kind of like me, but at least I'm willing to, give you all my train of thought, long form, show you my analysis, and what is happening in the Middle East? What is happening in Israel, bro? Is that like God, fucking clickbaited me. It's not my lane.
I'm looking at girls naked. He doesn't say
At
that.
least not
He
yet.
said that he would allow himself to go in because he's the owner, and then he'd see that they have no clothes on. That is him barging in.
No, he doesn't
and
say they
looking
don't
at
have any
naked.
clothes on. He doesn't say nobody.
Why are you even debating this point, dude? Ugh, lame as hell. 4,000 people watching it, though. I guess. I don't know. Could be fake. Kind of. Oh, I don't know. No, probably not fake. But that Candace Owens stuff, that's definitely fake viewership. Um. Yeah. Anyway, what else is in the news? Should I cover Iran? Are these investments, or are they pumping it into the fucking? Oh wait, there was yeah, there was something on News Nation that looked funny. Oh wait, it was maybe in my playlist earlier, but Bill O'Reilly was on News Nation. He's back from the dead, I think. You know. The ogre versus the other guy. Oh my god, what happened to Bill O'Reilly, dude? Oh. Okay, this looked interesting.
My position is simple. You're in the state of Texas, and James Tellerico wasn't nearly as well known as she was. He did not have the national profile that she had. Certainly, her politics and his politics were pretty much aligned on everything from tariffs to immigration, so on and so forth. Taxing the rich, of course, that's always.
God, these people are illiterate, dude. I swear.
Something that folks on the left will say, no doubt about it. But in the end, it came down to elements of style.
And by these people, I mean these three people, not black people. Okay.
It's a
They don't understand politics. They're fucking head, they're high as a kite on their fucking, uh, fortunate positions in their life, So, with that in mind, let's continue.
styles make fights. And her style, marketing herself as somebody that would challenge Trump at every turn and battle up against the quote unquote establishment or a person who thinks he is a king. That's entirely different than Tellerico's message, which was to isolate and focus on Ken Paxton and how he believes that guy is going to be the GOP nominee for the Senate seat in Texas, and how we need to.
Dude, he was not isolating Ken Paxton, dude. He's calling out the entire Christian nationalist movement. Ken Paxton just happens to be one of the fedayeen for it.
To turn our attention to that. So his mentality to do that and to lean on religion, Christianity, et cetera, and not be about battling Trump. People believe his style worked, and that's what ultimately won him the day in the state of Texas compared to what she was offering.
A lot of new voters.
They're not happy, dude. I love it. Oh. Cry, bitch, cry.
Voters. He's doing, Tallarico's doing his victory speech rally right now. Bill, let me
I
ask
was
you
there.
something about him. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Stephen, go ahead.
Fun fact. Wonder if he saw me in the crowd, but I had my mask on when he started talking. I was handing out campaign lit for a local race. Otherwise, no, you can't. Hard to organize in Texas when you're wearing a mask, you know. People's attitudes down here are whack.
Yeah, also remember that I can't forget that she also complained that people were turned away from the polls, because of different location and what have you, and she's lamenting that played a role in her losing the election as well. So we can't forget to mention that.
Right, 100%. But he was with her and petitioned the court to extend voting in those places. So it's not like Tallarico was part of the suppression effort. Now he's celebrating the win. Bill, do you think he has a chance of beating a Cornyn or a Paxton? And is that the right test, whether or not he can win in Texas? Do you think there's anything about
Bill
this
O'Reilly
that
is
is a
so
signal?
fucking. He's like a corpse.
Whether or not he can win in Texas.
It's like a
Do you think
corpse
there's
now.
anything about this that is a
I
signal?
remember when he used to be fat, or I guess he got put on the Ozempic. He got hit with the Ozempic beam. You know? Or he got hit with
500 cigarettes.
la 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 la. Anyway. Boop boop boop. Let's go.
Well, first of all, I want to point out that Mr. Tellerico looks exactly like Richie Cunningham for Happy Days. And that's got to give him, it's got to give him a few votes. He does, look at him. Where's Potsy? How you doing, Mr. C?
Why is Chris Cuomo You're attempting the same haircut. It's just your hairline's receding, bro.
Look, Texas is a unique state in its voting patterns. If Jasmine moves up to Massachusetts, she can be governor, she can be senator, she can be dictator, she can be whatever she wants. Minnesota, California, that's where she should be. I lived in
I guess I have the same haircut as Tellerico. I just don't
state pretty well.
Style
It's
it.
a traditional state. And Tellerico comes off as a much more traditional politician.
Well, I
Doesn't
guess
want to
you
blow
can
it
call
all up as
doing this styling.
Jasmine Crockett wants to. And so that's why he won. It was
better.
like, okay, this guy's not going to throw hand grenades. Now, as far as a general, there's two old guys against Tellerico. Tellerico's got some advantages there. I mean, Cornyn and Paxton, they've been around forever. And we've heard it.
Okay.
So if I'm Tellerico, I'm pretty happy tonight.
I need to hit the
he's a big
finesse
fix America
ideal.
first.
Well, I will say
Not
this.
bad. Getting too self-conscious. I think it's just time to go bald, right? For me. It's over.
Well, that's good because we need to get fixed.
Well, I will say this.
So I hope Richie can do it.
I'll tell you where Tellerico has a chance. I'll tell you where I think Tellerico has a chance. Cornyn and Paxton are going to get so ugly with one another. The thing, I mean, Cornyn's already talking about his personal life and threatening to expose even more stuff. It's going to get very, very, very ugly.
Yeah, they have tons of skeletons in their closet, both of Cornyn and Paxton. All these Republicans do. It's just that Cornyn knows to stay quiet because he's a corrupt politician and not like not get himself noticed, you know. Which is why, people can keep a favorable opinion of him while he does nothing for work. Anyway,
talking about his personal life and
rooting for Iran. I watch ABC.
When you say Iran, you mean the people or the regime?
They want America to lose. So World News tonight on ABC, and I work for an ABC, it can, to root for Iran.
dude, all these guys are fucking like, why is Stephen A going? These guys all have no, not all of them, but Cuomo was defending his brother. Doesn't he have allegations against him? I'm not sure. Don't sue me. I know O'Reilly left Fox News because of allegations against him. I don't think he got prosecuted though. So Stephen A, what the fuck are you doing on this panel? Ugh, I swear, every man that goes on News Nation has something in their closet that they need to hide. It's like a guy who met with Epstein. News Nation is like the media is like the Epstein media station in that way, I think.
The press is actually rooting for Iran. I watch ABC.
When you say Iran, you mean the people or the regime?
They want America to lose. So World News tonight.
Yeah, bro. I don't think Iran needs protesters' help to make America lose in this situation. Anyway, this is boring already, and I'm fucking tired. Man, why don't I get invited on these panels? Maybe because I haven't made anything of what I do yet. Or because I'm too rage baity with my stuff. I don't know. This works, right? So far, not really, but I'm at least having fun with it. Maybe whoever tunes in next time can too. Is it gaming time though? Can I manage the stream from here, from the OBS, or open the stream manager? How do I do that? If I can figure out how to do that in the next couple of moments, then maybe I will. Of course. I'm tired, man. I'm freaking exhausted, man. Ugh, God, how do I get this? Sinking into my chair now, consciously. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Maybe I'll learn tomorrow. Let's just do one last call. I did not pay attention to this lady's campaign at all. Let's see what she has to say. Or, well, no, that's out of date now that she won. Oh, hell yeah. Bye bye, Israel.
And why do you support Trump?
He's amazing.
Why?
Because he fucking sucks, bro. I don't support that fucking guy.
Okay. Bro, Steve-O's back in the queue.
Of course he is. Hold on. I got something to tell him really quick. Hey, Steve-O. Steve-O, can you say thank you to Sandy Rose? Sandy Rose sent a $50 donation, said you're doing great.
Ugh. Send me money, dude. I do not like these. Whatever. Maybe I'm just jealous, but these kids don't know what they're talking about yet. Either that or they're just grifters doing Trump slop. Yeah, anyway. That's it for the news and politics from Jacob Shines. Fucking the common sense grifter, king of the grifters. Yeah, yeehaw. Like and subscribe. Please. Anyway, pieces.